want to welcome you to our web meeting. This is Rick Hager. I'm calling here from my home in New York. And this is a special little presentation that I wanted to put together for everyone just so that we can talk a little bit about the concept of what we refer to as the power of two. And there's a reason that we're going to be talking about this here on this brief presentation, because I truly believe that most people, when they take a look at not only Visi in general, but the concept of network marketing, most people don't truly understand this model. They have an issue with this model because they don't fully understand it. And what I want to do here is just to discuss the duplication model and the power of this model so that people can have a better understanding of what we're talking about in terms of the income potential. See, what a lot of people believe when they see a network marketing opportunity, especially when they look at something like Visi, because our products are so amazing, is they believe that their job is just to get involved and just run around and try to sell products to people. And unfortunately, if that's what the impression is, we end up losing a lot of people because most people don't see themselves as salespeople, number one. I think that about 95% of the people in our population do not consider themselves a sales type. But also, if someone is a high-quality prospect that's used to doing well in their occupation or their career, if they see and perceive that this is a business about running around and just trying to peddle product to people, they don't understand the big upside potential that we have in our business. So what we need to do is do a better job of getting people to understand that this is more of a teaching and a training business and a sponsoring business, and we need to get people to understand the power of a duplication model and what can happen when you have a vehicle like this where you can leverage yourself and build an ever-expanding and potentially infinite web of people who are using products, sampling products, who are sponsoring and growing a team, and that team is in turn developing customers and sponsoring other people and creating volume in a variety of different ways. And when people understand that fully, then more people will see the big picture and I believe get involved and go for it in a very big way. Let's keep in mind something that's very, very important. If you want to make big money in Visi, you can't sell your way to the top. You can't recruit your way to the top. You can only duplicate your way to the top. And so your objective or your goal is not for you to be a product salesperson. It's not to just go recruit a bunch of people. It's to create a model where you can sponsor people and you can work with them to begin duplicating. In other words, you're going to go through a process, and what's going to happen is when you bring people on board, you're going to teach them this process and work with them until they understand it fully. And as they begin to duplicate, they're going to get their people duplicating and so on and so forth. And when that happens, it's very interesting what can happen in terms of the upside potential of our business. And so just remember in your mind, if you want to make the significant income, you can't sell your way there, you can't recruit your way there, you can only duplicate your way there. Duplication should be at the forefront of your mind. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this concept called the power of two duplication model. And what we're going to propose here is that you're going to sponsor two people in month number one, and through a 12-month period, this process is going to replicate itself. In other words, you're going to sponsor two people in month number one. Those people in the next month are going to sponsor two. In other words, they're going to do exactly what you did. And then those people are each going to sponsor two in the next month, and so on and so forth. And we're going to show you what these numbers mean in terms of income potential. And then we're going to even factor in some, what I like to refer to as an error factor, because we don't live in a perfect world. These numbers will not work exactly this way. But still, even with the error factor, you're going to see the upside potential of this business. So hopefully this will help people to understand a little bit more about what our model is. Yes, you can go retail the products. Yes, you want to get preferred customers. Yes, it's okay to sign up someone that runs a gym. Yes, it's okay to sell a little bit of product out of the doctor's office or the massage therapist's office or the chiropractor's office. But if that's what you're doing exclusively, you're missing the boat with our business model. You are putting yourself in direct sales, and this is more of a business of duplication. Duplication is where the significant income comes from. So here's how it would work. If you were to sponsor two people, and we're going to talk a little bit about the pattern in just a moment, but let's say that you were to create this model where you're going to sponsor 2, they're going to sponsor 2, their people are going to sponsor 2. Here's how it breaks down. In month number 1, if you were to sponsor 2 Visi partners, you're looking for people that have got desire and willingness, and they're teachable, and maybe they're at a point in their life where they're looking for something different. Maybe they want to make more money. Maybe they want to have more time freedom, whatever it might be. But you're going to be introducing people to the Visi opportunity. And let's say that you sponsor 2 people. And we take those 2 people, and let's assume that everybody, for the sake of this illustration, is going to do $150 a month in business. Let's say they're on auto ship for the Drive Pack, which is 150 CV, and they're going to come in and they're going to take that Drive Pack, and they're going to use the Vinlay and the Pro Beta, and they're going to get those 40 samples that we have in there, and they're going to do their 2-a-day 10-in-play concept, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But let's duplicate that model. So month number 1, you sponsor 2 Visi partners. If they each are on auto ship for a Drive Pack, that's 150 CV times 2, that's $300 in volume. So by sponsoring 2 people, and those people just going on auto ship for the Drive Pack, and that's what everybody's going to do for the sake of this model, in month number 1, you'd have 2 Visi partners, and you'd have $300 in volume. And let's assume that when you sponsor these 2 partners, you sponsor one on your left and one on your right. And each one of these people that comes in is going to replicate that process. So you've got half of this organization going down your left team, half of this organization going down your right team. Well, in month number 2, if the 2 people you bring in, each sponsored 2, your organization would grow to 4 new people that you would have in your group. Because if you got 2 and they each went out and got 2, that's 4. And if those 4 people were each on auto ship for a Drive Pack, that would be 150 times 4. You'd have $600 in volume based on those people. Now in month number 3, if those 4 people each sponsored 2 people, that's 8 new people. If they're each doing the 150 CV, which is the Drive Pack CV, that's $1,200 in business. And in month number 4, if those 8 each sponsored 2, that's 16 new people at 150 is $2,400 in business. In month number 5, if those 16 people each sponsored 2, that'd be 32 new people at 150 apiece. That's $4,800 in business. Month number 6, if those 32 people each sponsored 2, your group would grow by 64 more people, and if they're each doing a Drive Pack, that is $9,600 in business. Now, we're 6 months into this, okay? And your group's not very big at this point. If you look at the numbers here, your group's not very big. 6 months into this, 64 people, only $9,600 in volume. But watch what happens through this geometric progression. Watch what happens when we start talking about growing by multiplication in month number 7. If those 64 people each sponsor 2, that's 128 new people. If they each do a Drive Pack, that's $19,200 in business. In month number 8, if those 128 people each sponsor 2, you now grow to 256, which times 150 is $38,400 in business. In month number 9, if those 256 people from month number 8 each sponsor 2, that's 512 new people times $150 in CV, that's $76,800. And look at the steam you pick up in month 10, 11, and 12. If those 512 people in the next month, month 10, each sponsor 2 people, you now grow by 1,024 people. And if they all do a Drive Pack, that's $153,600 in business. And if those people in the next month, month 11, each sponsor 2 people, that's 2,048 new people times $150 over $307,000 in volume, 307,200 to be correct. And then in month number 12, if those 2,048 people each sponsored 2 people, you would grow by 4,096 people that month. And if they each did a Drive Pack, that's $614,400 in volume. So this is the power. Now, if you look at this, you sponsor 2 and they each sponsor 2, and you begin to duplicate and you begin to pick up steam. Very much like if you were at the top of a very high mountain and you started with a big snowball and you began to roll it down the mountain. As it rolled down the mountain, it would pick up more snow. It would grow in size. It would begin to roll faster. There's more velocity behind it. By the time it got to the bottom of that mountain, it would be big enough, strong enough to knock a house over. And that's the power of duplication. Now, there's no way you by yourself could run around and sell $600,000 worth of product. There's just no way you could do that in a month. There's no way you could run around and try to sign up gyms and sign up doctors' offices to produce this kind of volume. Remember what we said a little bit ago. You can't sell your way to the top. You can't recruit your way to the top. You can only duplicate your way to the top. So if you want to make significant income, if you want to grow a team, if you want to create volume, it becomes about duplication, as you can see in this model. So what does this mean in terms of money to us? Well, if this doesn't get you excited, nothing will. Based on this, let's go ahead and, for the sake of math, just round that 614,000 some odd dollars, or just round it off to $600,000. Now remember, if you had half of this going down your left team and half of it going down your right team, if you were qualified at the 10% of your lesser leg and 10% of the matching volume on your stronger leg, okay, that would be $300,000 on each leg. That'd be a $60,000 monthly income that you would have if your volume was 300,000 left and 300,000 right. $60,000 a month in that illustration. So let's bring some realism into this now and say, well, you're never going to get the numbers to work exactly like that. You're never going to get 2 who get 2 who get 2, and it's never going to duplicate exactly that way through 12 months. Well, if we look at the next row, if we had $300,000 in volume total, okay, 150,000 left, 150,000 right, we're assuming a 50% error factor because we know the numbers aren't going to be exactly like that. We know that we're not going to have 2 who get 2 who get 2 who get 2. Some people will get a whole lot more than 2. Some people will sponsor 50. Some people won't sponsor any. Some people will sponsor 1. So it helps us to put some realism into this. And let's just say 50% error factor. If instead of 600,000 in volume, your group did 300,000 in volume, that's 150,000 on your left team, 150,000 on your right team. In our dual team plan, your income would be 30,000 a month still. And that is at the end of 1 year with the 50% error factor, with the power of 2. 2 who get 2 who get 2 who get 2 for 12 months. 50% error is still 300,000 in volume, 30,000 a month. Now let's take 50% of that and slice it away. Well, you'd still have 150,000 in volume. That'd be 75,000 on your left and 75,000 on your right, okay? And that would still yield you a $15,000 monthly income. Now, I don't know of any business where a person can get started part-time and just work a few hours a week, build their business, and in a year be at $15,000 a month. And it's residual income. It's leveraged income. Whether you continue to work or whether you can take the month off, that money is in your network. It's going to continue to come in month after month because the products are being reordered again and again and again. That's the power of having an emotionally driven consumable product, as people reorder it every month, every month, every month because they're on auto ship. So let's go even one step further and say that not only are we going to take the 150,000 in volume, let's cut that in half, $75,000 in volume, okay? Let's say that you had half of that on your left team, half of that on your right team, okay? Well, what you have at this point, okay, which would be $37,500 on your left, $37,500 on your right, you're still going to pick up $7,500 a month. That's more than most people make at a full-time job, folks, okay? And this is with numerous times calculating an error factor into this. If we take it even one more step and just slice half of that away, you'd still have $37,500 in volume. Half of that would be on your left, half of that would be on your right. And in our marketing plan, you'd still be picking up $3,750 a month. Now, I want you to think about this for a moment, folks. We talk about the concept of sponsoring 2 and helping them to each get 2 and helping those people each get 2 and building your group, pushing those numbers down. 2 who get 2 who get 2 who get 2. And if we factor in an error factor of 50% 4 times, you still have the ability to be making between $3,000 and $4,000 a month at the end of a year. And again, I don't know of any other business vehicle in the world where you can get involved with very little upfront capital, start part-time, have the support not only of an upline leadership, but of a company that has invested millions of dollars to put the products and the shipping infrastructure and everything together, and all you have to do is step right into it and build a little bit of consistency, have a little bit of a game plan, and in a year, part-time, you can be making more money monthly than most people get after 40 years with their pension, when they get their pension. Most people don't make a $4,000 a month pension, okay? And those that do have to work 20, 30, 40 years to get it. And we're talking about part-time effort. This is something that can happen in 1 year. I will tell you this, that we have people in Visi that in just a year and a few months are already making $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 a week. And this is just getting started, folks. We haven't even begun to hit momentum yet. When we hit momentum, the checks are really going to get crazy. Now, let me make a disclaimer, and I want to say that, there's no guarantee of income. This is a business. Income generation is a lot dependent upon your abilities, your willingness, how teachable you are, how hard you're willing to work, what your level of desire is. Nobody can predict exactly how this is going to work for you. This is a game plan that in some sense will begin to come together if you're consistent and if you're focused, and it is producing results for a lot of people already. Now, with that being said, what do we have to do? There's 6 keys to success to make this work. Number 1, what we teach people and train people to do is that if you're going to get involved with Visi and you want to make this successful, the first thing you have to do is focus on your why every day. You have to have compelling reasons that you want to build this business. One of the greatest things we've ever learned in terms of the laws of success is that successful people are very clear on what they want to accomplish. They know what their major definite purpose is. You wouldn't get involved in a business if you didn't have some type of an end game. And for some people, it's to get out of debt. For some people, it's to build their dream home. For some people, it's to travel the world. For some people, it's to give money to charity or church. For others, it's to fund their children's college education or their grandkids' college education. Everybody's a little bit different. But number 1, you've got to get clear on exactly what it is that you want and review it every single day, because that's going to give you the motivation to build your business. Number 2, we suggest that you do not deviate from the system that we have, and there are 2 parts to that system. Part number 1 is our product system. It's the 10, 2, and a chew concept. When we teach people how to use our products, we focus on the Visi product and the ProBeta product, and we teach people the numbers 10, 2, and then we talk about taking that chew. So it's 10, 2, and a chew. That's our product concept. Take a Visi at 10, take a Visi at 2, and then have that chew. Or if you want more strength in the product, at 10, take 2 Visi, and then take your ProBeta chew. So when it comes to the product angle, stay on that pattern. It's easy, it's simple, it's fun. You use the sample pack, the 10, 2, and a chew sample pack. People can wrap their mind around that. It's easy, it's simple for them. And if you want to duplicate, like we showed you in this illustration, keeping it simple is very important. Simplicity is what creates duplication. So the first part of our system is when you talk to people about our products, you're talking about 10, 2, and a chew. The second part of our system is to understand the business plan, and the business plan is 2 a day, 10 in play. That's our business system. What we mean by that is that you're going to invite 2 people a day to take a look at the Visi opportunity. And that just simply entails getting a sample in their hand, the 10, 2, and a chew pack. That entails having them watch a few videos, having them review the Visi and the ProBeta white papers that we email out to them. It involves maybe inviting them to a conference call after they've tried the sample. If they have watched the videos and there's an interest, they've reviewed the white papers, you can invite them to a conference call or to a live meeting if there's one in the area, or to a 3-way call with your sponsor or someone in your upline. You may even want to have them watch this presentation so that they understand these numbers here. Because I'll tell you what, back in the beginning of my career, I never wanted to get involved in network marketing because I thought it was about going out and trying to peddle products to people. I didn't understand that it was about distribution, and there was an opportunity to build a worldwide network that you could earn a small percentage based on the volume that network produced, and it could be really big money, really big money. I've got friends in this industry that earn $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $5 million a year. So this is not a business that has to be a tiny business. It can be part-time income if you want it to be. It can be a great career-type income if you want it to be. It can help you to become a multimillionaire if that's what you want it to be. But the key is you have a business system of 2 a day, 10 in play. You're going to always be inviting 2 people a day, and you always want to have 10 people in play, 10 people in the process of reviewing the Visi opportunity, taking the samples, checking out the videos, reviewing the documents, plugging into the conference calls, coming to the meetings, 10 people in that process all the time, and you're always inviting 2 new people a day every day, at least 5 days a week. So you don't deviate from the system of 10, 2 and a chew, and 2 a day, 10 in play. The third thing is you don't get emotionally attached to the outcomes. As you go through this process of sponsoring people and helping them to sponsor people, You don't want to get emotionally attached with what people do or don't do. You just want to stay engaged in the system. That's point number 4. Do get emotionally attached to the process of doing this. Because there are going to be some people that you think won't do it, and they will do it. There are going to be some people that you have really high hopes for, and you think they're going to be fantastic, but ultimately at the end of the day what's going to happen is they'll let you down. So don't get emotionally attached to the outcomes of what people do or don't do, but do get emotionally attached to the process of 10, 2 in a chew, and 2 a day, 10 in play. If you stay engaged in 2 a day and 10 in play, you will eventually find the 2 people that begin to duplicate, and these numbers will begin to turn over for you. Number 5, don't deviate from the process for at least 12 months. It takes a little bit of time to get these numbers working for you. Remember, in the first 3, 4, 5, 6 months, the results weren't that impressive with those numbers. But when you begin to pick up steam, that's where it begins to get magical in this model. So you have to make a commitment for 12 to 18 months, and you have to do your 2 a day, 10 in play consistently for at least 12 months to get these numbers to begin working for you. It's very, very important. And then, of course, point number 6, you have to have faith that it is going to produce the results for you. Faith is very, very important. There's never been anything great achieved without someone having faith that it was possible, without someone having faith that it was going to happen. So these are your 6 keys to success. You want to get these numbers that we just showed you working for you this way, or at least some resemblance of this, then number 1, focus on your why every day. Number 2, don't deviate from the systems. Number 3, don't get emotionally attached to the outcomes. Number 4, do get emotionally attached to the process. Number 5, don't deviate from the process for at least 12 months. And then number 6, have faith that if you do this and you plant those seeds and you do that 2 a day, 10 in play for the next 12 months, have faith that the results are going to happen for you, and most likely they will. It's as simple as that. There's only 2 reasons why people would ever fail in Visi. Number 1, they get excited, they sign up, but they never really get started. They never follow any of the simple proven plan that we have to get started. They get in, they get their product, they try it, but they never really step up to the plate and get started. That's one sure way to fail. If you never swing the bat, how can you ever expect to get a hit? Number 2, the second way people fail is that they do get started, but they give up way too soon. They quit without ever giving the numbers a chance to begin to work for them. It's a real small effort, and they just fold up their tent and go home way too soon. If you get in there and you keep swinging that bat, I don't care if the best major league pitcher in the world is pitching to you and you've never swung a baseball bat in your life. If you stand at that plate and you swing, sooner or later, your bat will hit that ball. It's a matter of the law of averages. And that's the way you have to look at this if you want to build a significant and a big income. So I hope that this presentation, in some way, shape, or form, will help you to understand a little bit more the model of building an organization in Visi. I hope you'll understand how powerful the concept of 2 can be. If you can find 2 key people, now you may have to sponsor more people than that to find the 2 that are going to be your leaders, one on the left and one on the right. You may have to go through more people to find 2 key people. But if you can find 1 superstar for your left team and 1 superstar for your right team, and then teach them to do the same and teach them to teach their people to do the same, you can become dramatically successful in Visi in a relatively short period of time. And so we appreciate you for taking the time out of your schedule to review this presentation. I hope that you find value in it, and we look forward to working with you. And if there's anything you need, you know you've got an amazing support structure here at Visi. We want you to win, and we'll do everything we can to make that happen. Have a great time, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.